This is a Fox News alert. Disgraced film producer Harvey Weinstein could be facing criminal charges in New York for allegedly raping actress Paz de la Huerta. The Manhattan District Attorney reportedly expected to present the Weinstein case to a grand jury as soon as next week. Trace Gallagher is here with details. Hey, Trace.
Hi, Tucker. Manhattan DA Cy Vance decided to seek an indictment against Weinstein after New York police interviewed Paz de la Huerta and corroborated a number of details in her story. De la Huerta claims Harvey Weinstein raped her on 2 occasions. Cy Vance previously came under fire for not pursuing a different case against Weinstein in 2015, saying he lacked evidence. And now Ronan Farrow, who broke one of the initial stories about the allegations against Weinstein, has new reporting on what he calls, quote, the machine that was so instrumental in keeping this quiet as long as it was quiet. The article goes into great detail about the Operation Weinstein Commission to silence his accusers and suppress stories about the alleged abuse, saying Weinstein hired both an investigations and risk consulting firm in Manhattan and an Israeli intelligence firm to, in effect, bully people out of going public. One of those people is actress Rose McGowan, who accused Weinstein of rape. McGowan claims Weinstein's army of private investigators tried to dig up dirt on the backgrounds and sexual histories of her and several other women. McGowan also claims that an agent for one of the firms hired by Weinstein duped her into several private meetings by posing as a woman's rights advocate. The story also alleges that Weinstein tried to hide his operation by routing contracts with the various firms through his team of lawyers, including that man, legendary attorney David Boies, who represented Al Gore during the litigation of the 2000 presidential election. The article claims that by routing the contracts through attorneys, the investigation could potentially be protected by attorney-client privilege. Tucker.
Trace Gallagher, a remarkable story. Thanks for that. Aaron Filler is a lawyer representing Paz de la Huerta and joins us tonight. Aaron, thanks for coming on.
Good evening.
So, tell us what you're alleging on behalf of your client.
Well, there are 2 rapes, and these are forcible, non-consented, actual rapes.
Was there ever a settlement between your client and Harvey Weinstein? Did she at any point sign any a document of any kind saying that this didn't happen?
No, there's no contact. Basically, after the second rape, December of 2010, there was no more contact. She heard what was going on this month, Jodi Kantor's story in the New York Times, right. And she's thought about talking about this before, and this convinced her to go forward. So
can you explain the circumstances of the assaults that she alleges?
So she has known Harvey Weinstein, had known Harvey Weinstein for a long time because in Cider House Rules at age 14, he was the producer. So, and this happened when she was about 25. The first rape occurred when she essentially ran into him at a club. He offered her a ride home because they're neighbors in Tribeca, and began trying to insist on coming up to her room. They argued a bit in the lobby, and as you've heard on The Wire with Gutierrez from 2015, saying, look, you're embarrassing me, let's talk in your room. And once he was in the room, this rape occurred.
Okay. And
as for the second...
Yes.
So, so during the days and weeks following this, he made contacts trying to get her again to meet him. He would say he's parked in front of her home, he's in the lobby, and she was really increasingly terrified and afraid to come home. Finally, on December 23rd, 2010, the second episode, she was at a photo shoot. She got this call, again, him saying he's not going to leave till she comes home, and she determined to go confront him. And I know her well. I've worked on various projects with her over the past 5 years. She's a very determined person who believes reasonably she can go to a person like Weinstein and confront him and tell him he's being a stalker, he's a rapist, and he needs to leave. She did go home. She did drink on the way home because she was very anxious. Again, met him in the lobby, commenced having this discussion. He again insisted, please, can we go upstairs? Then her plan was to have this argument in the lobby. I mean, I'm sorry, in the hallway of her outside her apartment.
Right, I guess. So she would have
into the apartment.
But where were the police in all of this? And by the way, I'm not doubting the story, but I'm just confused as to how someone could commit 2 felony rapes and never wind up in jail. This is 7 years ago. So why were charges never filed? Or the police not on this?
Well, right from the beginning, she was very worried about a career impact. She did discuss the rape, but used a code name for him. But she did not choose to report it. She did not. She felt that it would be very difficult to succeed, and there
I know, but I mean,
negative career impacts.
I'm sorry. Look, I feel sorry for her, but lots of other people were abused subsequent to that. So doesn't she kind of regret, in effect, protecting the man who assaulted her?
Well, I can't speak for her on that particular question.
Okay. Well, the whole thing is a shame. Thank you very much for explaining that. I appreciate it.